In some kind of way, I believe that the work of womanhood, the work of evolving as a woman, is to find a way to allow the water of affirmation, the water of validation that comes first from God and then through others to water the seeds of our destiny so that we can become the women that God had in mind.
Yes. Oh, yes. And God, He has really been doing like recently. Like God really checked me. Okay. I feel like I really want to share this story because we
Tell
had a
me, I
power.
love when God checks. Okay.
So we had a power outage a couple weeks ago, and it was like out for like 48 hours. No power in our neighborhood. And I remember sitting there and I was looking at the refrigerator and I was like, oh my God, all this good meat that I just bought, it's about to go to waste, God. All this good food in this refrigerator is going to waste. And I thought about how a lot of it, I had been storing it up, like storing it up, got food, went grocery shopping, I would store it up. But but I wouldn't go ahead and cook sometimes. I'm like, oh, never mind. I'll just go buy out. Had all this good stuff stored up. And I promise you, the Holy Spirit said, much like you, all this good stuff I have in you, and you are refusing to release it. You're refusing to show up. And like, I feel like He like came for me so badly, but it was so needed because all this time I would be like, all right, God, you put too much in me. I don't know which way to go. And it wasn't until like I was revisiting the story of the parables where the man had the five, the two, and the one
Yeah.
talent, when it was something that stood out so much this time. It was He gave them each those talents according to their ability. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I've been playing small all this time, masking it in humility. And it was like, I gave you this because you have the ability to execute with this. And so I was like,
Wow.
oh my God, check me. Just keep checking me because I
Check
need it.
me.
Check me. Please
Okay,
check
so
me.
like if we're sticking with this analogy, then let me go on it. Like I feel we tag team preaching at this point to our sisters, the
Okay.
delegation. But part of the reason why we don't pull out those things that God has stored inside of us is because the work of unthawing them, the work of getting the ice of heartbreak, the ice of disappointment, the ice of insecurity off of them so that they can actually be usable is where so many of us stumble. Because yes, you may be gifted in writing, but you have to deal with people. And until you get over your trust issues, then you can't even use the gift that God has given you. So we have to be willing. This is faith without works. Faith is, I believe God gave me something. Work is, I'm going to make sure that I don't allow anything that happened to me or anything that anyone said to keep me from releasing what God gave me, because we recognize that when I release it, I'm going to feed. People are going to be fed from what I carry and then nourished. And then they too become people who feed and nourish other people. That's the way the kingdom gets established. That's discipleship.